Welcome to the gas dynamics subject. Now, property tables are very useful to study the compressible flow. So, in this lecture, we will see how to use the property tables to solve the numericals of nozzle and diffuser. So, in this gas dynamics subject, we will use five different types of property tables. So, first property table, that is table one, is for properties of standard air. So we are considering air as a perfect gas. So in this table, you will see properties of air such as density of the air, temperature of air, and the sonic velocity of sound velocity of air, depending on the elevation, depending on the altitude. We know that the all the air properties varies as you go higher from the sea level. So you will see all these properties in this table 1. Table 2 is for isentropic flow. Here also we are considering air gamma equal to 1.4 as a perfect gas. Now this isentropic flow, that means we are not considering any heat transfer. Also we are not considering the friction. So this isentropic flow is basically a reversible adiabatic flow. So in numerical, you will be given as isentropic flow problems. Then you have to use this table 2. Now table 3 is for adiabatic flow considering a friction. So here also the fluid is air, gamma equal to 1.4, and here we are considering the constant area duct. So in this adiabatic flow with friction, we are considering the frictional effect. We are not considering the heat transfer in this process. So this kind of flow is called as a Fano flow. So the third table is for Fano flow. Now table number 4, here we are considering frictionless flow with change in stagnation temperature. Means we are considering here the heat transfer. We are not considering the friction effect. Okay, here also we are considering the fluid as a air for gamma equal to 1.4. The area will be a constant area duct. So this kind of flow is called as a Rayleigh flow. And the last table, that is table number 5, we will use in order to solve the numericals from a normal shock. So we will use these 5 tables. Okay, table 1 is normal properties of air. Table 2 is for isentropic flow. Table 3 is for Fano flow. Table 4 is for Rayleigh flow. And table 5 is for normal shock. So in this lecture, we will use this table, isentropic flow. So let's just go through properties of air. So this table represents the properties of air. Here the elevations are given. First column is for elevation. So 0 is our sea level, and as you go higher, the density will decrease. Uh, Here we have 32,000 meters of elevation. So you can see here the temperature are reducing, and it is around minus 44 degrees Celsius. Okay, at sea level, the average temperature of air is 15 degrees centigrade. So you can see here the temperatures are in negative values as you go higher into the air. So always in the numerical, you have to convert temperatures from degree centigrade to Kelvin. Now this is speed of sound, velocity of sound. So at sea level, this is a 1 bar or 100 kilopascal. So at sea level, the velocity of sound is a 340.3. So this is your sonic velocity. So if you move at this speed, then you will reach to a sonic condition, that is Mach number equal to 1 at this altitude, means at sea level. But if you are at 32,000 meters elevation, your sonic velocity is nearly around 300 meter per second. So if you convert this meter per second into kilometer per hour, that is we are used to it, then 340 meter per second corresponds to 1200 kilometer per hour. So at sea level, to achieve Mach number equal to 1, you have to ride your vehicle at say 1200 kilometer per hour, and you can reach up to a sonic condition, and if you cross this 1200 kilometer per hour speed, then probably you can enter into the supersonic regimes. Okay, so in your numerical also, if you find this velocity that is nearly around 340 meter per second, then you can guess your Mach number, that is around 1 or less than 1, if you are if your velocity is 340 meter per second. But if your velocity is, let's say, 600 meter per second, then you can guess your Mach number is 2. Okay, that is the double the velocity of sound. So you are nearly about Mach number 2. So you have to get idea about these velocities. Okay, 340 is the velocity of sound at sea level. Now this is the picture of NASA X-43 aircraft. So this aircraft, they have reached a velocity, that is speed up to say 11,000 kilometer per hour. So roughly it is a 3,000 meter per second. Okay, so 3,000, it's 10 times higher. So they have reached up to a Mach number, say Mach number 9.6. So that is the highest Mach number achieved in the world. They have achieved this Mach number in 2004. So this aircraft flew at an altitude of 95,000 feet. So that is 29,000 meters. So that is basically, if you can see here, so this aircraft flews in this stratosphere. Okay, this is the range of normal uh, cruise altitude of aircraft. It flies nearly around 6 to 20 kilometers. This aircraft flew in this stratosphere, that is 29 kilometers. Now this is the table for isentropic flow. So here in the first column you will see the Mach number. Mach number varies from zero point 0.3 to up to a 10 Mach number. And you will see here the property ratios. So for example, this is a static to stagnation pressure. This is the static to stagnation temperature. This is for density. This is for area to critical area. And this is for a critical Mach number. So here you can see the various values of property ratios. So if you know the Mach number, you can find out the property ratio. And if you know the value of property ratio, then you can go back and find out the Mach number. So this is how we will use this isentropic table. Now let us take one example. So the pressure, velocity and temperature of air at the inlet of the nozzle is given as 200 kilopascal. The velocity given as 145 meter per second. The temperature is given as 330 Kelvin. And the exit pressure is given as 150 kilopascal. What is the shape of the nozzle, that is asked, and also to find out the Mach number at the inlet and at the exit, and also to find out the mass flow rate per unit area at the inlet section, assuming the flow to be isentropic. Take gamma equal to 1.4 and use isentropic property table. So from this example statement, you have to decide the which type of flow is given. Okay, so here it is given as isentropic flow. So we will use our first property table. If here it is given as a heat transfer, so and so heat is transfer, or the heat transfer value is given, then it will be a problem of a relay flow. And if the friction factor is given, then you can assume the problem is from a Fano flow. So you have to carefully read the problem statement. Okay, so the data are given. So we can take a nozzle. We can assume it to be a conversion nozzle. So this is inlet section, and this is our outlet section. So here the velocity, pressure, and temperatures are given, and the exit pressure is given as 150 kilopascal. We have to find out the Mach number at the inlet and at the exit. And in exam, this type of property values will be given to you, that you can directly use. If the property tables, if you are not using the complete property table, booklet. In a problem statement itself, it will be given various values to be used to solve this example. Okay, now we have to, there are two important things to note down while using this property table. So number one is all the stagnation properties are constant throughout the nozzle. Okay. So at inlet section also, if you have a stagnation pressure, then this stagnation pressure will remains constant throughout the nozzle. At the exit also, the same value you will find for the stagnation pressure. Similarly, for stagnation temperature also, the value remains same at the inlet also and at the outlet also. So this stagnation property value are the key or are the bridge between this inlet and exit. Okay, you can use this stagnation property at the inlet also, and the same property you can use at the exit also. Second point, if you know the Mach number, then you can find out any property ratio, or if you know the property ratio, then you can find out the Mach number. So now first let's find out property ratio for inlet condition, because we have three properties which is known at the inlet section. So probably we can go for the temperature, because we know the velocity also, we can easily find out the stagnation temperature. So from stagnation temperature, the equation is static plus dynamic terms. So static temperature is given. The dynamic head is c square by 2cp. So velocity is also given. So we can find out a T01, that is a stagnation temperature, by putting the static temperature here and the velocity here, which is 145. So the stagnation temperature uh, will be 340.46 Kelvin. So we can see here the 40 Kelvin jump will take place when you stop your air, which is flowing at 145 meter per second speed. The temperature is 330. So when you suddenly stop this much velocity of moving air, you will see rise in temperature of 40 Kelvin. Okay, so that is the meaning of stagnation temperature. So now once we have stagnation temperature, we can take the ratio between static and stagnation. So static to stagnation temperature ratio, we can put here 330, that is static temperature. 340 is a stagnation temperature. So it turns out to be a 96928. So now we have to find this value in property table. So in this column T by T0, that is temperature ratio, we have to find out this value, that is 969. So here you can see it is very close to this value. Okay, 6, and this is 968 and we have 969. So we can directly take this Mach number as a 0.4 also. Okay, so inlet Mach number will be 4. But here you can see if in your numerical, if you are in between this value, then you can see here there is a large jump between the Mach number. You have Mach number 0.4 and here you have Mach number 0.18. So if you are in between these two value, then you have to use interpolation. So let's here also we will use interpolation method. So in between value is not known to us. This value is known to us. Okay, that is the temperature ratio, but we don't know the Mach number. So we will use these two values. Okay, so for 0.18 we have this 0.99356. For zero point 0.4 Mach number we have this temperature ratio is 0.96899, and our temperature ratio is 0.96928, which is somewhere here, and we don't know the Mach number value. So we will use interpolation equation. So we will subtract m1 minus this 0.18. In denominator we will subtract 0.4 minus 0.18, and here also m1 corresponding this value, so 0.96928 minus 0.99356, in denominator 0.96899 minus this 0.99356. So we will use this equation to find out the Mach number. So if you multiply this term, denominator term here, and you can add this 0.18 here, then you can find out Mach number to be 0.3974. So we can approximate this value as zero point 0.4. So as I said, you would have chosen this value, you can directly write this value, but this is just a method that you can follow if you are in between. Okay, so from table we can read this Mach number as a 0.4, which is our inlet Mach number, and corresponding we can note down this pressure property ratio for the pressure also. Okay, so static to stagnation pressure will be 0.89562 that we can read from here, and we can use this value to find out the P01. Okay, so P01 will be, this P1 is known to us, 200 divided by this value 0.89562. So this will be your P01, that is stagnation pressure at the inlet. Now you can equate this stagnation pressure at the exit also. At the exit also you will have the same stagnation pressure. So P02 also you can take this value to 23.3 kilopascal. So now at the exit you have two properties, static and stagnation. So you can take the property ratio here at the exit. You can go back to the property table, you can find out the Mach number. So P02 we are considering 223, and we have this static pressure, so we will take the property ratio static to stagnation. So 150 by 223, so it turns out to be 0.671. So now we will go back to the property table, we will find out the 0.67. So here we have 0.669, so we can take this value. So corresponding to this value we have Mach number, that is 0.78. So it will be your Mach number 2, M2 at the exit. So now we know both the Mach number at the inlet 0.4, at the exit we have 0.78. So we can comment that our shape of nozzle is a convergent nozzle, because in throughout the nozzle we have not reached to up to a Mach number 1 or higher than Mach number 1. So we can say this is a subsonic nozzle and the shape of nozzle is a convergent nozzle. Now let's find out mass flow rate. So we know that mass flow rate is equal to rho area into velocity. This is mass flow rate per unit area is density into velocity. So we can find out density by P by RT. Here we have to use the inlet section because we are trying to find out the inlet mass flow rate. So take inlet properties, pressure and temperature. So the density will be 2.11 kg per meter cube. And if you multiply it by velocity, then the mass flow rate per unit area will be 306.2 kg per meter square per second.